Welcome to Modern Postmodern, our first exhibition of the spring season of 2022. The exhibition is open to the public for a preview evening and drinks reception, which starts on Friday the 4th of March at 5 p.m. until 8 p.m, and I hope that you can join us. This is an absolutely extraordinary exhibition of some of the greatest artists of the 20th and 21st century, Pablo Picasso, Andy Warhol and Gerhard Richter. Modernism refers to a global movement in society and culture that from the early decades of the 20th century sought a new alignment with the experience and values of modern industrial life. Building on late 19th century precedents, artists around the world used new imagery, materials and techniques to create artworks that they felt better reflected the realities and hopes of modern societies. Perhaps the greatest of them all was Pablo Picasso, whose influential role in the development of cubism, fauvism and surrealism made him the standout artist of his generation until his passing in 1973. His auction record currently stands at $106.5 million. Pablo Picasso is probably the most important figure of the 20th century in terms of art and art movements that occurred over this period. Before the age of 50, the Spanish-born artist had become the most well-known name in modern art, with the most distinct style and eye for artistic creation. There has been no other artist prior to Picasso who had such an impact on the art world, or had a mass following of fans and critics alike. Pablo Picasso was born in Spain in 1881 and was raised there before going on to spend most of his adult life working as an artist in France. Throughout the long course of his career, he created more than 20,000 paintings, drawings, sculptures, ceramics, and other items such as costumes and theatre sets. He is universally renowned as the most influential artist of the 20th century. The terms modernism or modern art have been used by art historians and art critics to describe a succession of art movements that begin with the realism of Gustav Courbet in the late 19th century through to the Abstract Expressionist movement of the 1960s. Andy Warhol was a New York-based artist, film director and producer who was the leading figure in the visual art movement known as pop art. His works explored the relationship between artistic expression, advertising and celebrity culture that flourished in the 1960s and span a variety of media including painting, silkscreen printing, photography, film and sculpture. Some of his best-known works include the silkscreen paintings of Campbell's Soup Tins and Marilyn Monroe, both of which were produced in 1962, and he is critically acclaimed as being the artist who brought an end to the idealism of the modernist era through the implementation of mass-produced consumer culture imagery, and is credited with the inspiring and widely used expression 15 minutes of fame. Towards the end of the 1960s, modernism had become the dominant idea within art, and a particularly narrow theory of modernist painting had been formulated by the highly influential American critic Clement Greenberg. A visceral cultural reaction by artists then took place, which was quickly identified by other critics as postmodernism. It is a hotly contested subject amongst art historians, but the term postmodernism was first used around 1970. As an art movement, postmodernism to some extent defies definition, as there is no one particular style or theory upon which it is hinged. It embraces many different styles of art production across a diverse range of backgrounds. Now widely regarded as the most important living artist of the postmodern era, Richter has negotiated the frontier between photography and painting, captivated by the way in which these two seemingly opposing practices speak to and challenge one another. From exuberant canvases rendered with a squeegee and acerbic colour charts to paintings of photographic details and close-ups of a single brushstroke, Richter moves effortlessly between the two mediums, reveling in the complexity of their relationship while never asserting one above the other. Richter's life traces the defining moments of 20th century history, and his work reverberates with the trauma of National Socialism and the Holocaust, where he began to explore the material, conceptual and historical implications of painting without ideological restraint. It is these moments of personal and social history that seem to cackle with static, distancing the viewer from their subjects and casting doubt on the ability of painting to document in the same way as photography. Postmodernism is now viewed not only as a reaction against the ideas and values of modernism, but as a term associated with skepticism, irony, and philosophical critiques of the concepts of universal truths and objective reality by cultural theorists such as Jacques Derrida and Michel Foucault, who advocated that individual experience and interpretation of our experience were more concrete than abstract principles. While the modernists championed clarity and simplicity, postmodernism embraced complex and often contradictory layers of meaning. Many other outstanding artworks by internationally acclaimed artists such as Alan Davey, Patrick Hughes, Jason Martin, Sarah Lucas, Mustafa Halusi and Charlie Hayden Taylor are also on display. I really do hope that you can come and join us and see this wonderful exhibition. Thank you for watching.